What if AI coding tools weren't just smart, but actually predictable?
Predictable, right.
Yeah, like what if you could guarantee certain things happen, no matter what the AI is thinking?
Hmm.
Imagine like automatically formatting your code every time, or getting custom notifications the way you want them.
Or blocking it from touching production files.
Hmm.
Yeah, I see where you're going.
Exactly. Is that kind of control even like possible?
Oh, it absolutely is. Yeah.
Yeah.
This isn't about, crossing your fingers and hoping the AI remembers.
Right.
It's about taking those suggestions the AI makes and turning them into solid app-level automation. You know it's going to happen
Yeah.
every time.
Okay, that idea, that shift from hope to guarantee,
Wow, that's a game changer for so many developers, I bet.
it really is.
So welcome everyone to this deep dive. We're going to pull back the curtain on something called Claude Code Hooks.
Mm.
It's this really powerful system, lets you inject your own shell commands right into the AI's workflow at specific points.
Think of it like middleware, maybe,
Yeah.
but for your AI assistant. Exactly, great analogy. And our mission today, we're going to show you how to set this stuff up. Automatic code formatting, custom notifications, compliance logging, even security guardrails.
Protect those critical files.
Yep. And we'll get into some pretty advanced patterns too.
And honestly, understanding how this works, it can genuinely change your whole development workflow. You move from like reacting to problems
Yeah.
to proactively guaranteeing things happen right. It really builds trust in your tools.
Okay, let's dig into the core problem first, because I think every developer listening has felt this frustration, right? The inconsistency of AI tools.
Oh, yeah. Well,
You ask Claude Code, say, edit TypeScript file. Sometimes it remembers to run prettier. Sometimes, poof, it just does it.
that's all about it, yeah.
Or maybe you have really specific compliance rules, you need certain logs, but you're constantly reminding the AI session after session. Is that what you see too? Or is there something deeper?
No, that's absolutely it. And it's not just like a small annoyance. The root issue is that AI tools, just by how they work, they give you suggestions.
Suggestions, right? Not commands.
Exactly, not guarantees. They might choose to run your formatter or they might not. There's no certainty. And when you're working on real projects, that's a big risk.
A huge risk.
It's the difference between, a helpful hint and a team member you can actually rely on to do the right thing every time.
And this is where hooks come in. They're the solution,
An
basically.
elegant solution.
Yeah. Hooks turn those kind of flimsy AI suggestions into solid guarantees. Basically, they're just user-defined shell commands, right?
Mm-hmm. Shell commands, you're right.
And they execute at specific points in Claude Code's process. And the key part is they run every single time, no exceptions.
Yeah, think of it like this. If working with AI is like having this brilliant intern, right? Super smart, gets stuff done.
But maybe forgets the rules sometimes.
Exactly. Forgets to always run the test or whatever. Hooks are like the supervisor standing there,
Yeah.
making sure certain protocols are always followed. Every time, no matter what the intern feels like doing.
Okay, I love that. No more chasing forgotten formatting or missed security checks.
It just brings this level of deterministic control, something that's been missing, really.
So let's give people a first look. The quick start example in the docs is great for this.
Yeah, the logging one.
Right. It shows you how to set up a hook that just logs every shell command Claude Code runs. Super useful for compliance or even just debugging if things go weird. So you use the hooks command, you select the pre-tool use event. And this is important. It runs before the tool call.
So you can actually block it.
You can block it. Then you add a matcher just for bash, so it only fires on shell commands. And then your logging script. Simple.
Really straightforward to get started.
Thinking about that, have you ever needed to track exactly what an AI tool was doing? For compliance, maybe? Or just out of curiosity, like what use cases pop into your head for that kind of logging?
Oh, absolutely. Beyond compliance, which is huge, I've seen teams use this for like performance analysis.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, figure out which AI commands are slow or use too many resources, or even just for training, Understanding how the AI is being used in real workflows, it's super valuable.
Okay, yeah, I can see that.
And to really use that power effectively, you've got to understand the life cycle when these hooks actually run.
Yes. Okay, let's talk lifecycle. Understanding when and how these hooks fire is totally crucial if you want to build automations that, actually work reliably.
Right.
So Claude Code has 4 main hook events you need to know. First up, pre-tool use hooks.
Okay.
These run after Claude figures out the parameters for a tool, but before it actually runs the tool. This is your moment.
Your chance to jump in.
Exactly. Intercept, modify, or just block the action completely before it happens.
This specific hook, pre-tool use.
Mhm.
It really is like your first line of defense. You can check the action before it happens, make sure it follows your rules, your security standards.
It makes sense.
But question, if you put too much logic in these pre-tool use hooks, could that slow things down? Like if you're running heavy checks before every AI action.
That's a really good point. And yeah, we'll definitely talk about performance later because you're right, it's a balancing act.
Okay.
The power is there to intercept, but you need to be smart about how you use it. So, next up, post-tool use hooks.
Those tool use after the fact.
Right. They fire immediately after a tool finishes successfully. Perfect for anything you need to do after an action, like automatically formatting code after an edit.
We're running tests after files change.
Yeah.
This is where you enforce that consistency, you know? The AI makes a change, your hook immediately cleans it up or verifies it, ensures it fits your standards, runs the tests. No forgotten steps.
Consistency on autopilot. I like that. Okay, third type, notification hooks.
Ah, for the messages.
Yep. These trigger when Claude Code sends out notifications. So if you're tired of those generic desktop pop-ups...
And you want something richer, maybe in Slack.
Exactly. Send custom Slack messages with all the context about what Claude Code just did. This is your hook.
Yeah, and that's about integrating the AI into your team's actual workflow,
Yeah.
right? Those notifications can trigger other things, alert people, update dashboards. It brings the AI's actions out into the open.
Good point. Okay, and finally, stop hooks.
Stop hooks.
These run when Claude Code finishes its response or if you explicitly tell it to stop. And what's really neat is your hook can actually tell Claude to keep going based on conditions you set.
Whoa, okay, so you can override the stop.
You can. Now, the real magic across all these hooks comes from matchers.
Ah, the targeting.
Yes. Surgical precision. You can target specific tools like task for agent stuff, edit or write for files, bash for shell commands. You can even use rejects.
Like edit write or notebook or something.
Exactly. Really flexible.
And here's something that's like really cool under the hood. Hooks get rich JSON data piped straight into them via standard input.
Okay, tell me more about that.
So for pre-tool use, you get the tool name, the parameters it was going to use, the whole context.
Wow.
For post-tool use, you get all that plus the actual response or result from the tool.
So your hook script isn't blind. It knows exactly what's going on.
Precisely. It allows your hooks to make really intelligent, context-aware decisions.
And how does the hook talk back? Tell Claude Code what to do.
Surprisingly simple.
Okay.
Exit codes.
Ah, classic Unix style.
Totally. Exit 0 means all good, carry on.
Standard success.
Exit 2 is the big one. That means stop, block this action.
Yeah.
And it feeds an error message back to Claude.
Okay, so exit 2 blocks. What about other codes?
Anything else usually just shows an error to you, the user, but lets Claude Code continue.
Got it. So 0 for go, 2 for stop, others for user warning. Makes sense. Now, thinking about your own code, what kind of automated checks would you want running? Testing, linting, security stuff?
Oh, definitely linting and formatting. Maybe
Yeah.
basic security scans on commits, testing for sure.
Yeah. Okay, so let's shift gears now and look at some real-world patterns, actual configurations you can use, like today.
Let's get practical.
Pattern 1, automatic code formatting. You can set up a post-tool use hook, runs after any edit.
Mm-hmm.
It checks the file extension. If it's TypeScript, run prettier. If it's Go, run gofempty, simple, targeted formatting.
Well, that just instantly solves that whole inconsistent code style problem, right?
Hmm.
Every file automatically matches the team standard.
Yeah.
No effort, no forgetting, consistency on autopilot.
Exactly. Okay, pattern 2, security guardrails. This uses a pre-tool use hook.
Before the action.
Right, to prevent any modifications to, say, your production config files or sensitive directories. If Claude tries, the hook triggers, blocks the tool call.
And tells Claude, nope, can't touch that.
Exactly. Explains why it was blocked.
Okay, from a strategic view, that's massive, especially for compliance, data safety. It's your automated safety net protecting your most critical stuff, like an invisible wall. Super important.
Totally. Pattern 3, custom notifications. We touched on this. Use a notification hook.
To send nice messages to Slack instead of the boring pop-ups?
Yeah. Formatted messages, rich context about what Claude did, way more useful.
And it makes the AI's actions visible to the whole team, right? Smoother collaboration, everyone knows what's happening automatically, like deployments or critical changes.
Good point. Okay, number 4, compliance logging. This is a more advanced logging hook.
Beyond just logging the command.
Way beyond. Creates detailed audit logs, timestamps, user context, full command details, the works. Essential if you're in a regulated industry.
Absolutely critical sometimes. And what's really powerful with these more complex patterns is that JSON output you mentioned.
Right. The hook can output JSON.
Yeah, and that lets you do really sophisticated stuff. Dynamically approve or block actions based on complex logic. Give very specific feedback to Claude.
Ah, so the hook can tell Claude why something happened or what to do next.
Exactly. Control whether Claude continues or stops its whole reasoning process. You can even chain multiple checks together. It's incredibly powerful.
Wow. Okay. And finally, pattern 5. Working with MCP tools.
MCT, Managed Compute Platform.
Right. It's a standard letting Claude Code talk to external services easily. Hooks can target these MCP tools using a specific pattern, like MCP server num toolname.
So you can hook into like a GitHub integration
Yeah.
or a database tool.
Precisely. Connect Claude to your custom tools, specific servers, your whole service ecosystem. Makes Claude a real part of your wider setup.
That opens up a lot of possibilities.
It really does. So, thinking about your own day-to-day work, which of these patterns jumps out as having the biggest immediate impact for you? And what other automation ideas are kind of sparking now?
The auto formatting is immediately appealing just for saving time,
Yeah.
but the security guardrails, that feels fundamentally important. And hooking into external tools like GitHub, yeah, lots of ideas there.
Okay, cool. Let's talk advanced stuff now. And maybe more importantly, the gotchas, the things you absolutely need to watch out for.
Right, the pitfalls.
Security is number one. Has to be. Because these hooks run with your user permissions.
Which means a bad hook could do real damage.
Exactly. A malicious hook, or even just a buggy one, could mess things up badly.
So how do you lock this down? What are the absolute must-do security rules?
Okay, 5 golden rules. You gotta follow these. 1, always quote your shell variables. 5R, not just 5R. Prevents unexpected word splitting or globbing.
Standard shell scripting best practice.
2, validate all inputs. Never, ever trust that JSON data blindly. Check it. Sanitize it.
Don't assume it's safe. Got it.
3, block path traversal. Check for and any file paths the hook deals with. Don't let it escape the intended directory.
Critical for preventing access to things you didn't intend.
4, use absolute paths for any scripts your hook calls. Don't rely on the path. Specify the full path.
Makes it predictable, avoids running the wrong thing. Makes sense.
And 5, explicitly skip sensitive files and directories. Your .env files, the .dit directory, any private keys. Make sure your hook logic ignores them.
Okay, those 5 feel like a solid baseline. Quote, veers, validate input, block traversal, use absolute paths, skip sensitive stuff.
Yep. And the good news is there are templates out there, hook templates with good error handling and validation built in to give you a secure starting point.
That's helpful.
Now, performance is also key. Hooks have a 60-second timeout.
60 seconds. Okay, that's pretty generous, but
But they run in parallel, and you don't want them blocking your workflow, so they need to be fast and efficient.
right. A slow hook, even if it's useful, could just grind everything to a halt.
Mm-hmm.
It's a trade-off.
Mm.
Power versus speed. Needs to be surgical, not sluggish.
Well put. And when things do go wrong, because sometimes they will.
Debugging time.
Yeah. Clear steps. 1, check the hooks menu in Claude Code. It actually shows your configuration, make sure it looks right.
Okay, first stop.
2, validate the JSON in your settings files. A misplaced comma can ruin everything. Use a JSON validator.
Classic config file problem.
Yeah. 3, test your actual shell command manually outside the hook. Does it work on its own?
Good sanity check.
4, use COSO transcript mode in Claude Code. This is awesome. It shows you the hook running, the input it got, the output it produced. Super helpful.
Voila, see the live execution. Nice.
And 5, check sucked out and stirred. Is your hook outputting what Claude Code expects? Any errors being printed?
Standard debugging. Okay, that's a good checklist.
Building on that, you can do even fancier things, like hooks that change their behavior based on your current Git branch.
Ooh, context aware based on Git state. Clever.
Or complex hook chaining, where one hook's output feeds into the next. Really intricate workflows.
Okay, getting pretty advanced now.
And one more reassuring thing. Claude Code has this built-in safety net for your configuration.
How does that work?
It takes a snapshot of your hook files when it starts up.
Yeah.
If those files get modified externally during your session, it warns you.
So it prevents someone or something sneaking in a malicious change while you're working.
Exactly. It protects the current session.
That's smart. Okay, thinking about all this automation, running scripts automatically. What's your biggest worry in your own dev environment? Security? Performance? Just reliability?
Probably security first, then reliability. Performance is usually manageable.
Yeah, security is always up there. And just making sure it doesn't subtly break things in ways I don't notice immediately. Reliability, I guess.
Yeah, fair point. So looking ahead, what really excites me about the future here is we're just scratching the surface.
Feels like early days, yeah.
Imagine hooks that automatically write tests based on the code changes Claude just made.
Whoa. Auto-generating tests? That'd be something.
Or hooks that integrate directly with your CI/CD pipeline. Instant feedback right in your editor after a change.
Okay, that tightens the loop significantly. Or hooks that maybe coordinate across a team, like ensuring everyone's dev environment has the same setup enforced by hooks.
Yeah. Shared configurations, shared practices, and the potential for these tools to actually learn from how you code.
And suggest optimizations proactively, like a smart pair programmer watching over your shoulder.
Exactly. And that MCP standard, the Managed Compute Platform, that just blows the doors open.
Because any service with an MCP server.
GitHub, databases, monitoring tools, deployment systems, whatever. Anything can be hooked directly into your workflow via Claude code. The ecosystem is just going to explode.
So we're moving towards environments that aren't just AI-assisted, but maybe AI-orchestrated.
That's a great way to put it, AI orchestrated, where your preferences, your team's patterns, your security rules are all encoded as these deterministic hooks, creating this personalized, bulletproof workflow.
That just works exactly how you want it to.
Yeah,
Every single time.
that's the vision. So let me ask you, what would your ideal AI-assisted or AI-orchestrated workflow look like? What do you absolutely want automated, and what do you still want to keep manual?
Automate the repetitive stuff for sure.
Mhm.
Formatting, linting, maybe boilerplate generation, running basic tests. Keep the core logic, the creative problem-solving manual,
Yeah.
but have the AI guardrails always active.
Yeah, I like that balance. Okay, so if you're listening and you're ready to take control, here's the call to action.
Get your hands dirty.
Yes. Set up your first hook this week. Start simple. Maybe just logging, like the example, or basic formatting. Then build from there.
Don't try to boil the ocean on day one.
Exactly. And share what you do. Let us know in the comments, what did you automate first? How did it feel?
Yeah, share the wins.
And if you have a developer friend pulling their hair out over inconsistent AI, share this deep dive with them.
Help spread the word.
For more advanced stuff, troubleshooting, maybe join a community, a Discord server or forum where people share configs and help each other out.
Good idea. And look for starter packs online. People often share battle-tested hook setups.
Definitely. So the key takeaway from all this.
It's that the future of AI and development isn't just about making the AI smarter. It's maybe even more about better integration.
Integration between the AI's power and your specific needs, your workflow. And hooks give you that integration today, right now, turning unpredictable suggestions into reliable, deterministic automation that fits you.
It puts you back in control.
So here's a final thought to chew on. The best AI tools aren't necessarily the smartest ones in isolation. They're the ones that work exactly how you want them to every single time.
Predictably powerful.
Precisely. Now, next week, we're diving deep into MCP servers, building your own AI tool ecosystem.
Building the other side of that integration.
Exactly. How you can create your own custom integrations to make Claude code play nice with literally anything. It's going to be fascinating.